There's a phenomenon that I've observed where someone gets that lightning of inspiration. Let's say God gives them the greatest gift that He can give them. He shows them their sin.
Hmm.
They approach the church. They come in. They are absolutely in awe. They're in love. The honeymoon phase, all the good stuff. They're obedient. They're doing everything they can to come in. They get in, and now they're like, okay, work's done. I'm fine. And really soon what begins to happen is people begin to lose not just the momentum, but it almost seems like they begin to lose the vision because they become enamored with their new robes, if you will. You know, people coming in, if you're following me, and they the airs of religiosity
Hmm.
take over, and the inner work really, I think, not only never gets started, but even, you know, to some degree, people become blinded to it because they think that they've arrived. And you know, I've seen this with this. I call it the 2 year hump, where you know people are coming to the church. They're 2 years in, 3 years in, sometimes five, and then they fall away because after the honeymoon's over, the exoticness of, you know, the quote unquote Eastern part of Orthodoxy is gone. You know, all this stuff, and they realize, okay, I'm with Christ. It's painful. I don't like it, and I have to work. And then slowly, you know, other things become more important. And
As two
mhm.
priests, now that I have a chance to ask this, as two priests, what do you guys do to discourage that or work through that with someone? Like someone maybe stops coming to the liturgy as much, they're not coming to confession anymore. I mean, besides the obvious prayer, is there anything that you priests do to like help someone through that?
I think that one of the things that's missing in a lot of people's lives is inspiration, and you know, if we can't, people have to want to be with Christ, and we can't implant that. We can inspire them, and we can present images and examples before them to be inspired. So, I talk incessantly about the lives of the saints, because we don't have many saints in our day, in our age. We have a few, but they're not in our churches or in our parishes. We're the vast majority of us are just babes and beginners, and so it's very hard if you're constantly under barrage of bad examples. You've got to shut those out of your life. You got to shut them out, and you got to fill your life with inspiring examples. If you were, you know, imagine we're all like in the, you know, Chicago inner city, and we're poor and we're uneducated, and the one hope we have to get out of the slum is basketball, right?
Mhm.
And we want to become like Michael Jordan, and we're going to imitate him, and we're going to spend hours upon hours upon hours on the basketball court, because that's really, for us, at least that's what we think, it's the only way to get out of the slum. If that young man didn't have an example, Michael Jordan or whoever it is of the day, there would be even harder for him to get
Mhm.
up in the morning and run to the basketball court and play till he drops, right? So how we're poor, we're uneducated, we're pathetic, right? We don't even do prostrations. We can barely concentrate on the Jesus prayer. What are we going to do? Well, we're going to run to the examples, and we're going to want to imitate them and put them before us constantly, continually have them before us. How they lived, how they struggled, how they repented themselves, and how they loved, and all these things. And if you don't do that, it's very natural for you to give up, right? What athlete who doesn't have a coach and doesn't have inspiration is going to continue to go out and beat himself up and eat, you know, crappy food or food that, you know, is not so tasty, and just exhaust himself when there's not going to be, he has no real hope or desire or thought that he's going to get the reward. He's going to win the
Very
game.
few. Very
He doesn't
few.
have a coach. Like most of our Christians, Father, they don't have coaches. In
Yeah,
other words, spiritual fathers.
that's right. That's a huge thing right
If they
there.
don't have a spiritual father and he's not there telling them, keep going, get up,
Yeah.
run, you know, like a good coach would, how are they going to make progress? And then if he's not saying, let's go tonight and watch this, see how he does this and how this person does this, and they examine the plays and they go through the whole motion of what's going to happen on the field. All of that is the same. We're doing the same thing. If you go to church on Sunday and you have the same experience and same idea about what that is day in and day out, right? Because you're basically there and superficially examining this great mystery, which is heaven, right? Heaven, you have ascended to heaven at every divine liturgy. But if you don't have somebody to initiate you into that mystery and to show you the way in which you can participate truly in that mystery and go deeper, because it's eternal, it'll never end. It's going to happen eternally. You're going to go deeper, right? And so there's never a time you say, I arrived. Right. This is the great delusion of the old country. I arrived. I'm a Christian. I'm Orthodox. I got it in my, as they say in Greek, I have it in my pocket. I got it. I got my Orthodoxy in my pocket. I got it secure. It's like my wallet, right? You are in delusion. Like, you are pathetic. And God help you, because that's exactly, you don't have anything if you think you've got that experience. But if you don't have a coach and you don't have an example and you don't have somebody to inspire you, it makes perfect sense. You're going to say, I'm tired. What's the point? Or you're going to want to make the church into a social club. You're going to want to secularize the church. You're going to want to make it palatable. Don't challenge me. Don't push me, because after all, what's the point, right? I'm never going to make it to the NBA. Let's face it. I'm never going to make it to the NBA, right? So what's the point? Why get up in the morning?